With the release of Warzone 2 has come some pretty cool new features. You've probably heard of weapon tuning being talked about or even seen it in the attachment selection menu, but do you actually know what it does? Well, if you're looking for some information regarding tuning, you're in the right place. Let's get straight into it. So what is tuning? Tuning is an attachment-based modification system that allows you to change the stats of an attachment within a reason. For example, imagine you have an SMG and really want it to ADS quicker. You could trade other stats like damage range or recoil steadiness for ADS, which in the case of an SMG is a solid trade-off. The footage being shown now is a before and after a little bit of tuning for the Vaznev SMG. You can see in the after that it's way easier to control up close and at range. Keep in mind, both of these builds are using the exact same attachments, just with the after with a little bit of tuning. It seems complicated, but it's actually very easy. So let's get into the game and see how it actually works. Okay, so now we're in the actual game, and so let's see how we tune our guns. You can see on the barrel here that we actually do have the option to tune. On the laser over here, we don't have the option to tune. So you'll have some attachments that can let you tune them, some won't. You'll see that when you mouse over the gun, you click tune, or if you have a controller, you could control over the gun. I'm not sure what you'd call it. If you click tune here, you're prompted with this little graph, and so this is the predisposed things that the gun or the attachment already offers you. So on the left side here, you've got recoil status at the top, aim walking speed on the bottom. So if you move this little counter, you may not understand what this does, but this kind of, imagine you have, two items of one thing. Imagine giving up one of the items so that you can have more of the other. If you have like some Milky Ways, you've got some Twix, you give up some of the Twix so you can get more Milky Way. So in this case, you're giving up, if you scroll down towards aim walking speed, you're giving up recoil steadiness for the aim walking speed. So if you, on a sub, you may want more aim walking speed so that when you're in close quarters, you could ADS, you could walk. It's better than recoil steadiness for a submachine gun because your recoil steadiness for a sub doesn't matter that much. So when you're tuning, make sure you think about like the logistics and you could think about what you actually need this gun to do. So for this case, you don't have to tune to the extremes. You can always tune a little bit where maybe you want a little bit more aim walking speed, but you do want some recoil steadiness, or even you could leave it in the middle. Feel like, for some of these, you don't actually have to move. With this one, I probably wouldn't even change anything for this because aim walking speed isn't the biggest pro, and recoil steadiness also, you don't want it to be bouncing around all over the place. So I'd probably leave this one in the middle. However, on the x-axis down here for ADS speed and damage range, for a sub, your damage range won't matter as much as on an AR or something, so you can kind of afford to have more ADS here. If it were me, I would put ADS all the way to the left, although sometimes you don't want to tune to the extremes. You could kind of feel it in the the fire range and see if you like it, but this is the basics of tuning. It's really not that hard. We'll go to another attachment real quick to the grip down here just to see. Obviously you're prompted with some different things. For the grip, again, you've got recoil steadiness and ADS. You probably want more ADS than recoil steadiness. If you just read the selection, you can figure out what you'd want more of. You may not want to tune to the extremes because it could bounce around a lot, but the good thing is if you go out the menu here, you go to the firing range, you can actually test this gun in real time and see what you're messing with. If you realize that the gun is bouncing a lot, you could tune back to how you had it, but this gun actually feels pretty good with how it is right now, although it's got a little bump because we did take that recoil steadiness down. It really isn't, it's not that hard. It looks a little scary, but it's pretty easy. Okay, so to wrap up tuning, I've made this beautiful graphic on Paint. As you could tell, I'm an artistic genius. Anyways, on the left side, we've got your close range guns, your SMGs, shotguns, stuff like that, the things that you're going to be using in close quarters combat. And on the right side, we've got your long range. Now, your long range will be ARs, LMGs, snipers, anything that you're going to shoot over probably 30 meters or so. This is how you want to tune them. So I've made this little key on the bottom right. Essentially, we've got green and red on the screen, and not because Christmas is soon, because green is good and red is bad. Generally, these are generalized things because sometimes maybe you want some flinch resistance on your sub or something like that, depending on what you're using it for. So for your close range, I've got aim walking speed, ADS speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed on things that you generally want to favor on your sub, while flinch resistance, recoil steadiness, damage range, aiming auto stability, and close far for your scopes are things that you could kind of easily give up for the greens. Basically, if you've got a green versus a red on each of these guns, you could give up the red for the green in most scenarios. So if you've got flinch resistance on your top of the axis and aim walking speed on the bottom for your long range gun, you could tune towards that flinch resistance and give up the aim walking speed because you really don't need it for your long range guns. If you do want a screenshot of this, I'll leave it in the description. Obviously, it looks beautiful. I know it does, but this makes it a little bit more simple. These are every option that you can tune for. There's only 8 things. Wait, no, I think there's 9 things if you count close far for your scopes, but that really doesn't count, I don't think. But 8 things that you could tune for. You generally want to tune for a green in most scenarios. So I think that wraps up the tuning video. If you have any more questions or comments, concerns, anything, just leave them down below. I'll make sure to get to those. And again, if you do like the video, make sure to drop a like in the comment. I really would appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.